Why hello there fellow astronauts, Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers. Episode 17, Improving Power Generation with Solar. For now, let's not even bother trying to capture the power off of this one panel, because it's a proof of concept. So, we know that the power that the solar panel generates is here, but we're not doing anything with it yet. It doesn't generate enough wattage that, like, I'm gonna fret about that. So let's hook up the logic. So the first thing is to name these things. Oh no, I already did. Then the input for this is going to be the daylight sensor. Nope. Daylight sensor. And then this is the vert reader. So I'm going to read the vertical angle. So the vertical angle of the sun right now is 69 degrees. If you say so. All right, the next is, this is the horizontal one. And this is reading the horizontal angle of the sun, which is negative 140 degrees. The batch writer for the horizontal can be set up immediately. So the input for that is the solar tracking Haas logic reader. So input solar tracking Haas logic reader. And then the output is all solar panels, all dual axis solar panels to their horizontal. So as a result, we're going to see this panel start to horizontally point to that. I haven't set up vertical, but at least horizontally, it is indeed pointing at the... And we can... Oh, the data port might be wrong, or the angle. Yeah, okay. That's... The daylight sensor needs to be rotated 90 degrees, I think. Because this seems to be 90 degrees off. So I can rotate this thing 90 degrees or adjust it. Rotating this 90 degrees is going to be easier. So I'll do that. I'll do that now. It's going to mess with the grow lights though, but you know, whatever. So it was... I'm trying to think of which... I think it should point that way, maybe? I'm not even really sure. So this will be trial and error. I'm not even going to try to brain it. I'm just going to point it. So it was pointing this way. And now we'll try it this way. I'll fix the grow lights, because it's going to flash an error state because I rotated it. I'll fix the grow lights after this. But we'll do the horizontal reader first. So input is the daylight sensor again. Didn't change names. And this is for the horizontal. Okay, if we take a look at the panel, it is indeed pointing straight at the sun. I haven't done the vertical yet, but even as it is now, it's generating 48 watts. It's almost generating 50 watts. It's 75% efficient. So once I do the vertical calculations, it's going to be better. That's the hope. Well, let's do that now. While the sun's up, because it's hard to test in the dark. So the input, let's turn this off. The input here is going to be the daylight sensor again. And then this is going to be vert. And then the math is going to take the solar track, vert. Actually, going backwards might be faster. Solar track, vert, and then subtract the memory. So I didn't even name this logic memory. Memory of 35. We'll try 35 at start. I might need to adjust. We'll see. Then subtract 35 from that. Memory of 35. So the vertical angle minus 35. So if this is 64, this is 30. Oh, bye-bye, sun. And then the input to this is that math. So solar vert logic math. And the output is all dual axis panels of their vertical angle. And now this solar panel should be pointing to the sun as it is behind the Saturn. So I can't check its efficiency until sun's up, but hypothetically that works. All right, before my potatoes go haywire, let's fix the logic for the potatoes. And then we can make more solar panels and lower that kit battery so I'm not wasting power. And then actually hook it up with like transformers and all. So the input here is the daylight sensor. And this was supposed to read the solar angle. Which I should have labeled it as such, but whatever. It's fixed now. Oh, you know what? It's growing again. It's moderately. It's catching up to its so the plant's okay. It just had been bad long enough that it had issues, but it no longer is deficient. Cool. So no adjustments needed. I didn't need to panic. It's fine. Thrive, 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 moderately. And the moderately is going to just get better and better and better. Awesome. All right. Now that logic's fixed, we'll close the shutter. And what can I do productive? I might move the kit battery. I have lots of coal, so I can compensate for the lack of power. To put it in a position... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to redesign so I can see the panel. Or the battery. I want to be able to see the battery within the base, but it looks, the sun, it flashed me before it dropped behind the horizon. I think there was like a tiny, see the tiny sliver of Saturn in the hills. So I'm back in the dark again. So what I want to do is I want to put a glass wall here, and a glass wall here, and a glass wall there, so that I can actually see the battery through the walls. And that will allow me to check whether I have power problems or not. It's more of a nice to have, but it will help a bunch. So, I've got glass sheets and iron kit walls. That's like half the battle. It's really not a big project. I'm almost done already. So I need 3 iron sheets. And this is so that I can remove the frames behind it and see through it. So it's going to be installed on glass. It's going to be a little bit harder to maintain, but like whatever. So one more glass. So wherever my silicon is. If I have silicon? Oh, it's in there. Perfect. Actually, this is going to be a 2-part job. and I'll show you why in a minute. But I'm going to remove the frame, and then I'm going to move the window again.
Oxygen low.
Oh, shoot.
Critical.
Yeah. Lungs, you're okay. Alright, so if I remove this, we're fine. We're still... Oh, tight. Actually, yeah. And then this... We're still airtight. What I want to do is I want to put a... I want to extend my windows out so they... so I can walk over here. Because one of the advantages is if I'm stuck inside with like a pressurizing airlock, I can actually hit the button through the wall. So I want to design it so that I can do exactly that. Hit the buttons through the wall. That way, like, I can't be stuck in pressurizing limbo. So I'm making the base a little bit bigger, in other words. But it will add functionality while I'm waiting for the sun to come up to make sure the tracking is correct. So I'm going to fully weld these. This extra frame, I guess I can put here. I'm going to fully weld these and then build 1 window, 2 window, 3 window. And then add this area to the base. So this will be an annexed area to the base so that I can get to that panel. So if I'm stuck inside and it's like cycling the airlocks stupidly, I don't get stuck. I think that's a very nice thing to do. Arc welders, low or medium bat, and the kit battery is low. Good, because I want it to run low so I'm not wasting coal. Because if it wasn't here, I can add more gas to my airlock pressure system, no problem. But like, if I'm ever on the other side of this airlock and I'm trying to cycle it, it's stuck until I hit the button. So I want to be able to hit the button from here, being able to walk through here and hit the button on there. And also now I can see the kit battery there, so it's a really nice feature to have. So I need 1 more wall. Three sheets, 3 glass. And then I'm going to have some extras at the end of this project, this micro project. Because I can't remove them until I built the new ones. Not without big problems. Everything looks good back there. Bye, potato. So let's put the glass windows on the outside. I like that better. The pressure in the base will change, but only by... So right now I have 50 cubic meters, and I'm adding 3 cubic meters. So I'm going from 50 to 53, roughly speaking. So it's not a big change to the pressure. And the 50 cubic meters is I have a I'm 5 by 5 by 2, so 5 times 5 times 2. It's like it's not perfect. It is a rough estimate, but I think that's roughly what we've got. Oh, I should have brought 1 more steel to frame that, but whatever. So now that is enclosed, and we can cycle this again. And that battery's almost done. Cycle this again, and then I can annex this area to the base. So there'll be a sudden rush of air filling this void, and then it will equalize. And we're gonna still want this here, because obviously the airlock needs to remain an airlock, but this allows me to hit the button here, which is magic. I don't know how you do it, but you do it. So that's why I did this. We're probably also going to move the locker at some point, because now it kind of in the way. But, and these float, which is weird. I don't care. Personally, I don't care. What I wanted to do is be able to see that battery, and I can see that battery, and be able to hit that button, and I can hit that button. Not seating yet? Okay. Let's go ahead and move that kit battery. And then set up the transformers that we'll need for it. So thinking about this, as an input, we're going to need to have... So the heavy watt cables can handle more than the heavy... more than the solid generator can produce. Why does it not tell me here? Oh, no, here it tells me, I think. 100 kilowatts. So the solid generator generates 20. This heavy cable can hold more than 20. So I can have the solar panels and the solid generator feed to the same heavy cable, but I can't have the cables for the solar panels touch the you know, any of the lower wattage. So I'm designing it so that that does not happen, so I don't burn anything. So what we need is a transformer, a power transformer. I don't need a large one, I can just do a small one. And that also gives you the ability to have, for lack of a better term, a directional power and data. So people also use transformers to isolate data and power if you want. But basically a transformer allows you to set a limit to the amount of power. So I can have the output of the power, this transformer, on heavy watts, and the input on light watts that are connected to solar panels to keep the solar panels and the solid separated so they don't blow each other up. That's the point. If I'm doing that, I'm also going to need some more heavy cables. Just to be able to connect it all. I'll print 5. I'm not really sure how many I'm going to need, but 5 seems reasonable. Just checking my... Yeah, my gas levels are fine. And then anything we don't need powered on right now, I shouldn't have on. So when I uninstall this to move it, the base is going to be running off of this large battery. But my base is sipping power right now. Basically everything is off, more or less, except for this one console. So I'm not... Oh, let's cycle this back. I'm not all that concerned about having no kit battery. And then once the kit batteries are installed, we can run some coal through it. Helmet down. Suits are on. We're good to go. But before we do that, we have some sunlight. So we want to visually confirm that our solar tracking works. The sun just came up in the sky. But honestly, that's not good efficiency. It's pointing wrong. Did I add, not subtract? I think I just did math wrong, to be honest. Vert is 83. Batch writer saying 48. Is this being vertically written? Horizontal. Batch writer for the horizontal. Batch writer for the vertical. Okay. Let's just like tinker with the numbers. So I'm just gonna arbitrarily say 15 and see how that changes. Trial and error rather than doing math. Just what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to confirm that it's actually physically moving vertically, so that I know that like things are happening. So now we'll raise this up to 90 and see if the efficiency changes. All right, 90 is a pretty good value. I'm getting 96% efficiency off of a value of 90. So, all right, whatever number I had, we ain't gonna use. Let's try 92. 92 was worse. So, maybe back to 89. See if that's better. Yeah, let's keep it 90. I don't need perfect efficiency, just like good enough. So, 90% efficiency with the way it's at. It's fine. I obviously I can tinker with it more, but I'm not generating enough power to need to bother to tinker with it. All right, so the kit battery is running out of power. Whoops, not my screwdriver. So let's go ahead and uninstall it and move it closer. So I don't know why, but I'm doing that anyway. Because it will be easier to feed power to it, I guess, from the solar. So if I have a station battery here... Yeah, this is power input. So if I have a station battery here, that line doesn't have to run as far. Because this thing was almost out of power anyway, so it's not a big deal. I can fix the cabling once I'm inside. So let's build this. Done. Power port is right there. Got it. Having a window's kind of nice, isn't it? And then the generating port, I want the transformer that I brought out. There it is. We'll put the transformer... Here, move this heavy cable. We'll put the transformer here. So the power comes in from the solar panels. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not running into... I'm not combining cables, because that would be a fire hazard. So this is a hot line coming in from the panels above. Not very hot, because I'm not generating a ton of power, but hot line technically. Then we can max out this transformer. I'm just gonna set it to 5,000, which is its max for small. And then that is outputting 5,000 here, which will be on heavy watt. So that the delicate solar cables, which I'll have more of, don't get burned out from what the solid generator puts out here. Because the solid generator generates too much power to handle for the smaller cables. So this big generator can be moved here and wired up to refill the station battery. So now I have two different power generators feeding the base. I've this solid fuel and the solar. So is the sun still up? Yeah, the sun's still up. So I should, if I have my network analyzer, be able to detect that I have a trickle of solar coming in. It's not enough. It's not net positive because I'm not generating more power than the base is using, but at the very least I could be able to tell this thing is generating 51.3 watts. Oh, well, I'm not actually sending it to the battery, but there we go. The battery is now getting sent 52 watts from the solar. So the solar is now supplementing my power. Sweet. And so that we don't, like, you know, have a brownout, I'll take half my coal and stick it in to top the station battery up. And the power for the station battery the power doesn't go backwards through the small. So this is a 20 kilowatt. Actually, it's technically 20.005, whatever, for the... No, the sun just went down, never mind. So the power, the 20 kilowatt isn't going backwards through this transformer, so it can't burn out that line. So now you understand why I moved everything closer, so I didn't need more cables. Yeah. Awesome. And you can see the total potential power, which is the total here. And if I wanted to, it wouldn't be that hard to add additional batteries in parallel. So I could, you know, have even more power stored. And there's a larger battery too, which I can show you. Large bat. So here's the large station battery. But it requires stellite, which I don't have, which is why I'm using the normals, or whatever, these ones. Okay. So we have solar and we have solid, and I can power up the base with both. That is going to get exceedingly annoying being there, which is by design. So, yep, let's pull this out. I guess I only needed, what, like 20 coal to fill the station battery? It's good to know. That makes sense. It's like one, yeah. Okay, sweet. Helmet up. And the other benefit is I can actually just see the power that this thing has. And my entire base didn't go dark because it was running off of this large cell. So I still had plenty of power to run my logic and everything else. Right? There was no power. I didn't actually brown out. I'm going to clean up some of the cables. And the APC, if I'm not mistaken, kind of acts as a transformer. So I could have a transformer here to make sure I never send more than 5 kilowatts. But there's also, like, my base doesn't even use that much power. So until I have a lot more power draw within the base, I don't even need a transformer for the inside. Question, you guys. Should I scale up solar power? Is that the next goal now that I have a panel up there that is tracking? Because that panel does not even pay for the logic yet. This logic is 10. Logic is 50 watts, and that panel generates just north of 50 watts. The APC does not limit power. Okay. Well, there's nothing. I'm not asking for more than that, right? I'm asking for 300 watts, 600 at most. 370. Yeah, I'm not at risk of burning out. Not until I do, like, the turbo pump is on and like everything is on. I still wouldn't hit that mark. But a transformer wouldn't be a bad idea once I'm getting closer. It's just I don't think it's all that necessary at the moment. All right, looks like scaling up is a go. So for that, I want cables. So I'll print more cable coils. And then more panels. And frames and, you know, all that jazz. But the batch rider, one of the beautiful things about a batch rider is every dual solar panel that I add will just have its pointing to the sun automatically, because the batch writer says all solar panels do this thing. So I have enough copper for 2 more panels, and we're going to need to fetch more copper if I want more than that. But we'll print up 2 at least. I was thinking of scaling it up to like 10 or 11, maybe, so it's symmetrical, roughly symmetrical. Am I out of iron? No, I have 5 grams. But yeah, I'm functionally out of iron, I would say. So we're going to need iron for the physical tower structure. And then we'll need glass as well, which my silicon is in here. So we'll wait until these panels are done. So each panel is just the thing plus 1 glass that's like crowbarred on. Solar's obviously a lot better of a power source on the moon, and the moon would be the brightest, or Mars, because Mars is a lot closer to the sun than Saturn is. Saturn is dim as hell. The moon, however, has the risk of solar storms, so that's a new feature. I wonder if I can search storm. Not really. So the moon generates so much solar power that it can, like, hurt you during a solar storm, where it generates like a sudden influx of power, and then if you're caught outside during a solar storm, it's like painful. Not glass. Glass. So you'll quickly go through your like suit and all that jazz. So I'm not on the moon. I was considering being on the moon because that's a new feature, but I thought the moon would be a little bit easier than Mimas, so I chose Mimas for that reason. Hey, it's gonna seed soon. So the little plant that could. And I think 5 is a fine number. I mean, I've got a net positive amount of potatoes to the point where, like, they're rotting. So, yeah. No problem there. Shadow. How am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm alive. I haven't died yet. It's been 32 days. It's been over a month. Earth month. And I'm still alive, so... that is a pretty good run so far. I had a few close calls. I had, like, what, 2 close calls? One running out of oxygen, and the other running... well, maybe 3. I almost ran out of water. I almost ran out of food. I almost ran out of oxygen. But, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you crippled or something. Alright. We are going to need more iron for the physical frames, so I don't even think I'm going to bother... like, I'll bring these panels and sheets outside, but, like, there's not really a reason to install them, to bring them up the tower, because I don't have anywhere to put them. Oh, my air tank's low? Yes, it is. Back inside for me. I really need to remember to, like, pressurize this at some point. Actually, let's do that now. I'm going to use my propellant to do that. I kind of missed the chance. So let's pull the propellant tank out. Oh God, I can't hit the valve. All right, maybe I'll just create an active vent to do it on the other side to, like, push air into the system so it can actually pressurize. Because trying to, like, fiddle with the valves while it's happening is annoying. I actually have iron. Okay, let's just smelt this iron and and see how that should get us a lot closer to our goal of making the added power. So current priority right now is to add more solar panels. Ooh. Close. Oh, look at that moon. That's a nice view. I wonder what moon that is. I have played on a Frozen Planet before, but yeah, this is I started this today. This run is brand new. This is not Europa. So I did mention needing to kind of go diagonal, which the game doesn't do a good job of diagonal. Steel Frames actually does diagonal better than... So let me use a little bit of steel, although I'm using steel competes with the solar panels itself, but just as a proof of concept. So if I did a steel frame, Steel Frames has a little bit more build flexibility than iron ones. Iron ones are kind of clunky and you can't make shapes with it. The advantage of the Steel Frames is Steel Frames can be a cube and a side. So I can, if I use Steel Frames up there, I can have like more of what looks to be diagonal. So maybe I do, you know, Steel Frames, but I mean, can it? This can, okay. Home. Yeah, so I could do a diagonal frame like that with steel. And that looks a bit better. So perhaps I'll transition over to steel for the tower. So we'll do like diagonal, then a box, diagonal, then a box, something like that. I'll try to work it out once I'm up there. Whereas iron frames are just cubes. So I'll do one more iron frame to show you. Iron frames have no flexibility. And technically speaking, you use less iron ore per steel because steel frames are cheaper to make, right? If you take a look at frames, it's 4 grams or 2 grams. So because, you know, if you're trying to build scale up huge, obviously making steel is cheaper in the long run. It's the annoyance of having to like furnace it, but it's not that hard to furnace. So steel frames are more efficient as a result. But here's the iron frame, and the iron frame has no designs. It's just cube. It only does cube. I want to put it there, but oh, I got the hitbox for a second. Come on, it was green. All right, I'm like tempting Clang to murder me, so let's stop that. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon, one time only. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. I asked for no backseating for the series, and also, because this streamed one time only, feedback wouldn't be able to be incorporated anyway. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com also has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that made it all the way to the credits. So thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.